Hello everyone, it's Stephen and Andrew from Pen and the Atlas. I bet you want to go over there and look at what that is, don't you? So do we. But not yet. We found what looks like a cabin. So we're going to check this one out first. So there is two structures. See the old bed frame on the side of this one.
I don't think this is a cabin though. Looks more like a little workshop.
Yeah, it's tiny. You can see the earth behind it is taking her down. There were steps here. The steps there. Then this one has got, looks like some more shelves on the side, so some storage possibly. And that's just really messed up in there now. The floor's all in disarray. The wall, ceiling, and into the main cabin structure here. Got another bed frame in there. Looks like the main cabin, which again, just like the others, is in disarray from the earth behind on the hill coming down.
Yeah, you've got a terracotta stove vent, and I think I figured out what those steps were for.
Yeah.
So you could actually get round to this side of the cabin, because that side is like a cliff face.
Yeah.
And all eroding away. But I think for this to have two doors, it could be, and there's no stovepipe over there, I think maybe this could still be like an office, workshop, or could it have been like two minor cabins joined together?
Don't know. Interesting though.
So yeah, these were built around the late 1930s, and it's a gold and silver mine.
And then here on the other side of the little cabin, like Andrew was mentioning, here's a pit. It almost looks like they could have made this a little swimming hole. Don't know if that wooden structure over there kind of reminds me of a dock. And the ground in the bottom is all cracked and looks like Death Valley, because you know that there was water in there at one point. So very interesting. Hope this is a sign of things to come.
Beer, anyone? So look what I found. A baby 7-ounce Coors Light beer.
That's crazy.
And it's just full of dirt
it's all
now,
dried
but
out now.
isn't that cute?
That is really neat, and the condition it's in is great.
Yeah.
What a good find. Okay, we hiked around and we found like the remains of a mill building. You can see the two chairs still in here. But this is pretty cool. You can see it was gravity fed. Gravity worked and helped them out as usual. Okay, up top, see there the metal up here into this giant bin, which funneled the ore down to the bottom here, which started right above us.
So I would imagine that this was the first mill, the original mill. So I wonder whether or not this was the mill that the president was so impressed with.
I don't know, either that or this was a smaller operation that came a little later.
Or maybe the first operation before the big mining company bought it from the two guys that found gold in the area initially.
Perhaps. I know, because it's cool for us to find, but I guess when a president comes out, this wouldn't be overwhelming. Could be wrong, though. But nevertheless, just wanted to show. Okay, so I guess the next step is to head up to the top of the mountain to the camp.
It sure is. Crickets. Crickets everywhere. And lots of the buggers. Now, I have a fun fact about this place. In 1937, President Herbert Hoover visited this site and was very, very impressed with the mill. True story.
I like the construction techniques of this. I mean, the railroad ties here.
And the concrete,
Yeah.
cement,
The chinking.
the chinking.
Ooh, and how are the
They're okay. You can see the old tiles on the floor and the wallpaper. Oh, this, very feminine. You've got an elephant and a vase of flowers.
Oh, wow.
You've got cherries. You've got several layers of wallpaper.
Now that date, June 1st, does that say 1917?
No, that says 1957. So
Okay.
ore was discovered here in 1935. It closed down in the 40s. So this was just a visitor.
Okay.
Wow, 1957.
And I like all the plasterboard that's still in here, some insulators, still got some wiring running up in the ceiling here.
And in here, you've got an old fridge. I'm not going in there because the ceiling is about to collapse.
Oh, it's sitting on top of
and
the fridge, yeah.
It's sitting on top of the fridge. So that would be their little pantry, I would say, with the shelves. And of course, Sue, those damned hooligans have been here again, shooting.
There's a dead animal in there.
Is there?
Yeah, I think it's a bighorn sheep.
Oh, good grief, yes it is. I didn't even see that.
Wow.
Remains found.
Body found in abandoned mining camp. Wow, okay.
It's kind of mummified.
This is just the first cabin. Imagine what else we're going to find here.
I'd like to find some dates on papers.
All right, to the next.
To the next.
Next building up is in really rough shape, but it looks like these are all bags of samples that have just completely disintegrated all over the ground.
Hundreds of them.
Yeah, last time we saw that was at that mine where all of our batteries died on us.
Oh, yes.
Very cool. So next,
I think we'll try this little cabin here. This one looks more like a little homestead cabin.
Yeah.
Like a miner's cabin rather than that. I would imagine would have been a well, obviously it's a workshop. But although it might have been used as a cabin before the core samples went in, or the ore samples, I should say.
yeah.
Let's take a look. Miner cabin number 2.
All right, I don't think there's going to be any surprises in this one. It seems to be pretty...
And I'm not going to walk on that floor.
No, this is front walls caved in pretty good, back walls caving in, falling down. Massive beam here.
Still pretty neat.
Yeah.
And these damn Mormon crickets, they're everywhere.
Absolutely infested like crazy. Oh, that's a big one right there.
Yeah, I see them.
Okay, next one.
Would you look at the size of those crickets? They're ginormous.
No, they're just growing with no, I don't know, they're just big. forget that. But this cabin is
tattered and torn.
real torn up, yeah. But the one behind it, you can just see through. That one looks in better shape, so let's get over there. All right, up at this one, we won't be able to go in because the floor is in pretty bad shape, as you can see here.
But this one does have a shower.
Really?
In this corner.
Next to the water heater?
Yep, the hot water heater.
Hot water heater. That's never gonna get old. Actually, it probably will. But the roof, see, is in bit tatters. You can see there was a stove that went through. Again, all open to the elements. The wind's howling in the background, so I'm sure that has a lot to do with some of this.
I tell you something, a couple more rainfalls or snowfalls and this one's going to slide
Down.
right off. So I mentioned earlier that ore was first discovered here in 1935 and the host rock was quartzite, but they started off doing dry panning. Now the original people sold their claim the same year and a small mill was built, treating 38 tonnes of ore per day at $30 per tonne and employed 15 men. Unfortunately, it closed down in the late 1940s.
Through the door, looks like a little kitchen area.
Yep, the kitchen sink, minus the sink.
Cabinetry's all torn apart.
Closet. Beaten up old chair.
Oh yeah.
And then, now I can't make up my mind whether or not this was like a duplex because you've got the two doors, or whether or not you had like the kitchen, dining area and then the bedroom. I've got a feeling it was a duplex.
Yeah.
Because of the two outside doors. So I think this is a duplex as well. As you can see where it used to be a complete wall, but where the chimney, the brick chimney and the stove would go this side, you can see the other side, the stove, so it was a joint, a shared chimney.
Yeah.
You've got a little closet in the corner. Yeah, this one's definitely a duplex.
Leaning really severely.
Hicklety-picklety.
And here we'll walk along the outside, show you.
How hicklety-picklety it is.
Look at that window. That's
It's totally,
it's a parallelogram now.
yes. I was going to use another term, but keep it family friendly.
Yeah. And then, yeah, look at all the crickets.
Oh, there's a green one. That one's green. All the others are red.
Is that for good luck?
I don't know. Perhaps he's kind of like an albino in the cricket term. I know albinos are normally really white, but it could be an albino Mormon cricket that they are green.
Boy, you could just hear how many of them there are. That just sounds like the ground everywhere is just tap, 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 tap. So, and this is the other side.
Yeah, see what I mean about the chimney? That's interesting. And again, they've got like a mirror, they've got a closet.
Same exact setup.
Yeah.
Nice. So now, gonna go check out the mill.
The mill.
So here we are, there's those cabins up top. You can kind of see now how askew that one is. It's ready to go at any moment. But then also from this angle you can kind of see how ingenious this worked from the water tanks, just gravity fed. So obviously there's a top one, comes down to this one, comes down to this one, and it's all fed down into this massive mill, or the remains of what probably would have been.
No wonder the president was impressed back in 1937.
Yeah, I'm impressed again, because I mean, it's not just the building of this, it's building the entire infrastructure to start the mining, you know, all the buildings, all the materials,
And the
which
roads.
are, and the roads. I mean, everything it took to do this, just to mine. And then you see things the size of this. That's just, it's almost unfathomable.
And look at all the little crisscross mining roads that go across through the...
The whole mountain, this entire complex, there's just roads everywhere.
And behind us, or to the left of us, and we will see if we can hike up there, it kind of looks like they started open pitting.
Yeah, and then you kind of get a sense of the waste rock pile here next to us that we're going to walk down to in a minute. But then up top where the crows are just flying around, that looks like it is the start, like Andrea said, of the open pit. So in the middle of this ginormous waste rock pile, we've got this piece sticking up out of the rock. And another little section. And over here. So almost would appear to be part of like a...
Like a conveyor belt system.
Exactly. Maybe going down to that big monster we're going to work our way over to.
Now, looking at that from here, it kind of looks like it turns and almost like a ball crusher.
Right. I believe that would have been filled with water, so it would have been like mixing the material, or, you know, keeping it.
Because you can see the mixers.
Yeah, in the middle. So there is an open, somebody has cut like a little door on the side of it so we can get in there and get up close and personal with it.
And then we've got that little square building down there. I wonder what that is. Shall we find out?
Let's go.
Well, I was hoping that I was going to say my famous expression, no trip would be complete. But I can't, because it's not.
No, we haven't come across one of those yet. It's just a...
Shed.
Yep. Underneath the giant tank, you can see the bottom here where it will drain out, the piping that runs along just past me here and on outside and further down the hill. Oh wow. Listen to that.
Echo. Echo.
That sounds creepy. Oh, and the floor is really, okay, it's a little unnerving where the floor moves. But look at the scale of this. So there's the walkway up above us. And see, that's that gear that would have been turning these massive blades. And I mean, just a sense of scale. You look tiny in here.
5'3½", and that ½ an inch is really important.
Yeah, this is pretty neat. Make a great swimming pool.
It would actually, wouldn't it? Thinking about it. But this floor.
Yeah, I said, well, as you've seen from underneath, it's up on the 4x4s and things, so.
What you didn't see, because we didn't have the camera switched on. And I can't remember what bit it was. But the whole thing wobbled and gave way. That would have been really good on camera.
Yeah, if you would have been able to catch the look on
Oh.
our faces.
There is, this one.
Yeah, it leaves makes a creepy noise, and when it popped back into place, oh, my heart was in my throat.
And there's a little window cut out there.
Yeah. Very cool.
So what better place to do our clothes than in here where you can have the echo, echo, echo.
Yeah, the giant agitator.
So I hope you've enjoyed this little explore. I know we have. It's very unusual when we find so many buildings intact, although there weren't that many artefacts per se.
Right. Not a whole lot left most of the time, there isn't, but seeing some equipment like this is really neat because, again, it makes you think about, you know, what it took to get these items out here. That was just a massive undertaking, which is probably another reason why Hoover was so impressed with everything, all the work they had done.
And on that note, get out there, go and explore. Put another pin in the atlas, and we will see you on our next adventure. And if you would like to help the channel even more, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. We do have Patreon and PayPal links down below, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.